So hello everyone, welcome to this video. My name is Arfan and today we are going to make this crazy layout. As you can see here, this layout is having some lines here in the background, and also we are having this image with some broken shape here, which will, you can say, broken layout sort of things. And if I hit refresh, as you can see that the image is actually a normal image. We will create these broken things with our CSS. Yes, we are going to use only HTML and CSS here. So also it's fully responsive. If I show you here, as you can see that no matter which device you are going to use, it will be perfectly fine. Yes, as you can see. So it will be a great fun to make these things. So I hope you will like it. So no more talk, let's dive into it. So before we start the video, I want to mention that if you want to follow us on our Instagram, you can do that. The handle is instagram.com/web_CIFAR. So if you follow us, you will get some interesting tips and tricks about web design and development. Maybe that will be helpful for you. And also, if you face any kind of problem with this tutorial, you can join our community group. The link will be in the description. We have a great number of community members and which is growing day by day. So join the group, the link will be description, all the link will be in the description. So with that saying, let's roll the intro. As you can see that here is my HTML and here is my CSS file, and I also have an image here. So this is the image that we are going to use here. So in our HTML, first of all, let's create a boilerplate. And here inside of our body, we will create a section. And here inside that, I will have a div with a class of container. So after that, we will have our content. So let's actually create a div with a class of content wrapper. And inside that, let's create another div with a class of content. So these will be the content div where our content will be. So in this case, we will not have a lot of content. We will have only a paragraph. So let's have h1. Let's say that web CIFAR and save it. So if I refresh here, I should see my content here. So perfect. And after that, let's link our CSS here. And here in our CSS, first of all, let's get the font. So I already copied the font link here. So let's actually paste it here. So as you can see that we are using a Roboto mono font. So if you want, you can go to the fonts.google.com and from there you can grab any kind of font. And after that, let's go to our HTML and let's say that the font family that we are going to use is Roboto mono. And if I save, now you can see that the font is already changed here. So after that, let's go to our section and let's say that in our section we will have a height and width of 100 VH and width of 100%. So basically whole area, as you can see here, from the top and from the bottom, from the left to right, all will be the area of section. I actually misspelled that. So here is the section. And after that, let's go to our background color and create a background color. So I will use a black color here. If I save, now you can see that the color is black. And if you notice that I have some extra gap here, which I don't want. So for that, let's say that universal selector, padding 0, margin 0. And also let's say that box sizing will be the border box. If I save, now you can see that I don't have any kind of extra gap anymore. And after that, let's say that the color for our content will be the white. And if I save, now you can see that my content is here and perfect. So after that, I want to make this or position this content in the center of my website here. So to do that, I just can say that display will be flex and align items will be center and justify content will be center. And here, as you can see that the content is now in center. And after that, let's go to our container here. So let's come here. So container, and here let's say that the width will be 80%, and let's also have a max width of 1300 pixel and also a height of 100%. And let's say that I want to display it as a flex because I want to have everything in the center of my container. So if you have something like 2-column layout, you can do that inside of your container. So I will use that say flex here and align item center and justify content center. And after that, let's go to our content wrapper. So content wrapper, and here first of all, let's say that the height will be, so I want to have a height of 60% and the width of 100%. And if I have a background color of red, so that I can show you. So now you can see that this is our content wrapper. So as you can see that it's actually having the 60% height, so of its parent, which is actually this container. And after that, to make our this text center, I just can say that display flex once again and align items center and justify content center. If I save, now you can see that it's now in center. So after that, what I need actually, I need to add an image for our background. I will not use a background image property in this content wrapper. For the background, I will create a separate div in our content wrapper. So let's get a div with a bg image, and here will be our background image. So if I come here in our this CSS, let's grab this bg. So let's say that bg image, and here position will be the absolute. So whenever you are using a position absolute, make sure that the parent, which is actually this content wrapper, having a position of relative. So after that, let's say that the left will be 0 and the top will be 0, and also let's say that the height will be 100% and the width will be 100%. And if I save, and after that, let's give a background color of royal blue. So as you can see that the div with the color of royal blue, it's covering all the things here. Even we can't even see our content here. So this is our background image. Now what I can do, instead of this background color, I will use a background image here. So let's say that URL will be here. From here, let's actually give the path here. And if I save, now you can see that this is our image and it's not actually perfectly in position. So let's actually position it here, and for that I will use a shorthand. So let's remove the image, only the background, and after that let's say that no repeat and center and / cover. So this is the shorthand for all image property. So let's say that I want to get back my content. Now as you can see that I can't see my content, and for that I just can say that z index will be 1 and the content. So here as you can see that the content is in another div, which is actually a class of content. So let's actually go here and let's say that the z index will be 3 or even something like 2 or 3, whatever you like. So anything higher than 1, it will actually work. So now as you can see that I can see my text here. So perfect. And after that, let's actually apply a linear gradient here. So here linear gradient black, and if I save, now you can see it's not working yet, because I think I should use another black color here, and that's it. So after that, let's actually decrease it around 4, the opacity. Yeah, also do it for the second one. If I save, now you can see that we have this opacity here. So that's why we have a black overlay in the top of our this image, so that we have much contrast with this text. So it's looking great. And let's also say that the font size of our content will be something like 40 pixel. Big font size. So after that, the interesting parts will begin from here. First of all, let's get our these lines which will go behind this image as a background line. So for that, in our container, let's create a div with a class of bg lines. So div with a class of bg lines, and inside that I will have my span, which will actually will be our lines. So also let's have a class line 1 and line 2, line 3, line 4, and finally line 5. So we will have 5 lines here. And first of all, in our style.css, let's style those lines here. So here after the container, let's grab the bg lines, and here let's say that position will be absolute. So whenever you are using a position absolute, make sure that the parent is having position relative. And after that, let's say that the top will be 0 and also the left will be 0, and also say that the height will be 100% and the width will be also 100%, and also pointer event none. And if I save, so here now let's give some style to our line span here. As you can see that let's give some style to this span here. So let's actually select those, and we can select with the span tag, and let's say that all the span will be positioned absolute, and width will be 2 pixel, and also height will be 100%. So after that, let's have background color here. So the background color will be something like crimson color, and if I save, now you can see that that's our line. All 5 lines here, as you can see, all of them are now in this left 0. We can change them. So now you can see that it's in the left 0, which is perfect. And as you can see that we are saying that the height will be 100%, which is actually basically will follow the parents, where I am saying also 100%, which will basically follow its parent, which is container, and here I am saying 100%. So if our container having 80% of width, it will only contain 80%. So make sure about that your container having a full height. And instead of having the color here, I will create a variable here in our root, and let's say that var bg line color will be crimson. Actually we will decrease the opacity of this crimson a little bit, something like that. And after that, let's apply it here, and let's say that bg line. So this is the color, as you can see. So now whenever I will use this color, I just can say that background line color. And after that, let's actually position each of our line here. So let's select all the line here. So inside of our bg line, we just can say that line 1, and which will be left 0, and similarly we just can duplicate it, and for the second one will be in the 25%, and third one will be in the we can say 50%, and this one will be in the fourth, which will be 75. So we are having gap of 25% between each of our line. So for our fifth one, we will say that 100%. If I save, now you can see that it's in the 100%, as you can see. So as you can see that this last one is actually causing a problem here. So what it is doing is actually for each of our line, whenever I'm saying left 0, it will start from left 0, and it will actually have a width of 2 pixel, means it will start from 0 plus 2 pixel, it will be its width. And it's also happening here in the last item. It's actually starting from left 100%, and after that eventually it will having the width of 2 pixels. So that's why we can see the line here. As you can see, we can't see the line for the first one, but we can see the line here for the last one. So you can fix it in 2 ways. You just can say that calculation 100% minus 2 pixel. So now you can see that we can't see it because we just say that it will be positioned from the 100%. I just subtract the 2 pixel, which is the width of each of our span. So that's why it's actually we can't see it. Now it's behind of our this image. Also, what you can do, instead of this left, you just can say that right 0, and if I save, now it will be perfectly fine. So you can do whatever you like. And after that, let's actually create the mask here so that we can have some sort of broken layout with this image. So to have the mask here, we need to go to our content wrapper. So inside of our content wrapper, I will have a div with a class of image mask. So inside of this mask, we will have our div for our each of mask. So div with a class of mask1, and we will actually duplicate that, mask2, mask3, mask4. I think we will have 5 masks here. So after the content wrapper, let's select all the mask here. So image mask, and let's say that the position will be absolute. We already have the parent position relative, so we do not need to worry. And after that, let's say that it will be in the left 0 and also in the top 0, and also let's say that the height will be 100% and the width will be about 100%, and also let's say our z index will be 2 so that we can see. So here, as you can see, that we are using z index 1 for this background image. So we are using z index 2 for our image mask, which means actually we are having those image mask div in the top of this image. So you need to make sure that you are using z index 2. So after that, let's actually select all the mask, as you can see here. So we can select it easily. So image mask, and inside that we have the div. So select all the div, which is basically all the mask here, as you can see. And here I just can say the position will be absolute. So as you can see that it's having the absolute. The parent of this one is actually also having the absolute, so we don't need to worry about it. Background color will be the black color, because as you can see that we are using it as a mask. So you need to make sure that what is your background color for the section. So for the section we are using a black color, so that's why for the mask we should use a black color. And if I save, after that let's select individual mask here, mask 1, and let's say that I want to position it in the left side, so left 0. So let's also give the width of our each of mask. So here in our div where we selected all the mask here, and let's say that the width will be something like 25%. And if I save, and still it's actually not working because we don't have any kind of height. So for the mask one, let's say that the height will be 20 pixel, and if I save, now you can see that here is our mask, and if I increase that 50, and if you can see that the mask height is actually increased here. So now you can see that it's working perfectly. The width is 25%, and which means actually we are having a mask from line 1 to the line 2, because if you notice here in our line, we are having this line according to our points, left 0, 25, 15, means you can see that those lines here, as you can see that they are having a space between them about 25%. So you need to make sure that you are using same amount of space here for our image mask. And also what you need to do, actually you need to add the line width here. So you can see that for the background line we are using width of 2 pixels. So you need to make sure that you are adding those 2 pixels. So I just can create a calculation here. And here I just can say that 25% plus 2 pixel, and if I save and remove the space here. So now you can see if you notice that we are added these 2 pixel. So I will show you why I'm having this 2 pixel extra in the later of this video. And before that, let's actually have other mask here. So for our mask 2, so I will say that it will start from left 50%. So it will start from this line number 3, and it will go, and the height of that will be around 15%. And also let's use the percentage value for our first one, 10%. If I save, now you can see that this is our second mask, and also do it for our third one. And for that I will just say that for the third one will be in the bottom, so left will be 0, and height will be around 5%. And also make sure that you are saying that the bottom is 0, so that it's a start from here. And if I save, now you can see that we have our this bottom one and fourth one, which is our mask number 4. And for this one we will have the 25% left and bottom 0, and the width will be about, not width, sorry, height will be about 12%. And the last one, for our last one, I will just say that we will start from 75%, and after that for our this height I will just say 8% height will be, not 30, it should be only 8, and it will be bottom 0. Now you can see that it's actually working perfectly fine. So now you can see that we are having all of our this mask here, which is looking perfectly fine for me. Now the problem is, you can see that the line is missing because we are covering it with our this mask. So for creating those line, what you need to do, you need to go to your image mask div here, as you can see. So let's actually create some pseudo element for each of our mask. So let's create before, and let's say that the content will be nothing and position will be absolute. So whenever you are using position absolute here, you need to make sure that the parent is having a position absolute or relative. So in this case we are having already relative, so we don't need to worry about it. So after that, let's actually say that the width will be, so it will be the similar width that we used for the this line, so which means 2 pixel. And after that let's say that background color will be the color that we already have in our variable. So you can use multiple variable, a variable for this width, a variable for the section color or section background color. So this will be helpful if you create multiple variable. And after that, let's actually go to our this height. So height will be 100%, this is important. And after that, if I save, we can't see our this line back because we forgot to give the left 0. And if I save and also make sure that it is top 0, we can't even see it. Still we can't see it. Why it is happening? Because here is the problem. I think it should not have any kind of a space between the colon and the div. And if I save, now it's actually working. If you notice that we already have back this line here, as you can see. So this line, as you can see that here, it's actually from our mask, not the BG line that we used here. It's actually having from our mask. So you need to make sure that you are actually using same background color here. So after that, let's actually have the line back for the right side, as you can see. So you can see that we are not having our line here, and also we are not having in the right side here. So let's have those back with another pseudo element. So let's actually duplicate it, and let's say that this one will be for after. And here, instead of left, I will just say that it will be in the right. And if I save, sorry, there is some weird thing happening. And if I save, now you can see that we are having those line back here, back here, back here. But there is a problem for our last one. If you can notice that it's actually happening because here, if you notice, I'll say that the left will be 100% minus 2 pixel. I said that the left will be something like that, 100% minus 2 pixel. I explained the reason behind that, and also the right 0. So those are the same thing actually. So here, if I use something like that, if you can actually see it very clearly, we are actually subtracting 2 pixel from our 100% left. So that's why we need to make sure that whenever we are using mask for our this right way, means if you are using any kind of mask in this right part, you need to make sure that about the width of this mask. So we are using mask number 5 for this one. So you can see that here is our mask 5, and here the width is actually, we are controlling the width. Where is the width? Here is the width. So the width is actually 25% plus 2 pixel. So here we need to make sure that we are not adding this 2 pixel, because here we already subtracted that. So you need to make sure about that. So let's go to our mask number 5, and let's say that the width will be only 25%, not 25% plus 2. So everyone else will have 25% plus 2, but only those who are actually staying in the right side of this layout will have the width of only 25%. And if I save, it's not working. So let's actually see. If I come here and select this mask, so it's actually having this previous one. We need to make sure that with the important flag, and if I save, now actually it's taking this value. So now as you can see that in this right part, the line is actually fixed, and we are having this back perfect, as you can see that. So now if you can see, it's actually fully responsive. No matter where you will go, it will actually keep track the height and width of everything, as you can see. So let's actually add some animation here. So in our this bottom, let's create some keyframes. So keyframes bg animation and 0%, and let's say that transform translate y minus 100%, and from that I will just say that 100% transform translate y 0. And also let's create another keyframe for our line. So not line, sorry, I just can say it will be our before animation, before pseudo element animation. I will show you what it will be. So here for the 0%, I will just say that we will animate the height instead of the transform. So height will be 0, and from here I will just say that height will be 100%. And first of all, let's actually go to our before animation. The before animation means actually it is the before sword element, I mean here, and it's actually our content wrapper here, as you can see. So in the content wrapper, let's create a pseudo element of our before, which will be a gray background color, and let's say that the position will be inherit, and also let's say that left will be 0, and let's say that top will be 0, not auto 0, and after that let's say that the height will be 100%, and the width will be 100%, and also let's say the background color will be gray. And finally, if I go to the z index, will be -1 if I save, and as you can see that it is actually behind this image, as you can see this image. So it is behind this one, because as you can see we are using z index -1. If I don't use, even if I don't use, actually it's not here. I think if I use after, still it's not here. So if I need to show you what I can do, I need to go to this background wrapper, and here I have this. I don't have it here. The problem is for the sword element I forgot to give the content. So I think I can see it now. So here is our after, and as you can see that this is the our after, and here it is. So I think the problem is here we are using the position inherit. Instead of inherit I should use absolute. Yeah, absolute. sorry for that. We are using absolute position. Now it's actually in the top. If I now go to inspect, and here this is our content and this is our BG, and if I go to our BG, sorry, not this one. So if I remove this background, now you can see that this is the gray after that we have. I think we should use it before, and same thing actually, this is the before, and if I use before, it will go here, and if I use after, it will go after all the content here. So if you use before, you don't need to use that index, but whenever you will use after, you need to use that index. So now after that, what I need to do actually, I need to have an animation on this before. So for the animation, I need to make sure that we are having a transform here, transform translate y 100%, and also let's say that animation will be before. We already created the animation. If I can spell, and it will have our 1 second ease out. So now you can see that here is our this before pseudo element. So I don't want to have it here or go outside of its content, so I need to make sure that the parent, which is this one, having a overflow hidden. So now it will not go outside of the element. So I think I made a mistake here. I will not have this pseudo element in my content wrapper. I will have this pseudo element for my image. Yeah, here it is. So it will be pseudo element of this one. So if I go here and create the pseudo element for this one, bg image, so it will be same thing. As you can see that the content absolute, and left top 0, height 100 and width 100, and if I save that, it will be actually same thing. As you can see that when I refresh, this is the one, this is the pseudo element before, and it's having the animation that we created here. And after that, I will have animation for our this background, and for that I just can say that animation, and it will have the animation of bg animation, and 1 second is out and forwards, and also let's have animation delay here, 0.5 second, and also let's have a transform y here, because we are actually transforming this element in this bg animation. Translate y minus 100% means from the minus 100% it will go to translate y 0. So here, as you can see that we are actually animating the transform value for our this bg. So if I save, I should see, yeah, as you can see that it's actually kind of working, but we are having a red background. Why? Because we are having it here. So let's remove it. Here it is, as you can see. So that's it guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to share it with your friends and family. Also, if you want to watch more video like this one, please subscribe the channel, and also turn on the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I will upload my next video. So my name is Arfan, and I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye, Khuda Hafiz.